Every single day, maybe 100 times a day, you pick up your phone and you face this choice. It feels so small, right? Almost automatic. But that one little moment, it can define everything that comes after. We're going to break down exactly what's happening in that pivotal moment. And this is it, right here. The choice isn't just about what you're going to do for the next 5 minutes. It's so much bigger than that. It's about the direction of your life. Are you going to keep up that endless, mindless scroll? Or are you going to dare to ask yourself a very simple but profound question? So this is that fundamental crossroads we're always standing at. Ek faisla. You see it there? That just means one decision. And that's all it is, the scroll or the question. This is where it all begins. So what is this life-changing question? It's just this. What do I really want? Sounds so straightforward, doesn't it? But man, those few words have the power to just stop you in your tracks and completely change the entire path of your day and, yeah, ultimately your life. Okay, so if it's that simple, why do we avoid it? Why do we choose the scroll almost every time? It's because we're afraid of this question. And it's not the question itself that's scary, it's the answer. Because the second you know what you truly want, that answer comes with this heavy, heavy weight, responsibility. And that leads us perfectly into our next section, jawab ki zimmedari, which just means the responsibility of the answer. So you've got the answer. What does it actually mean to be responsible for it? What does that look like? Well, in this context, responsibility has a really stark, really simple definition. Excuses are over. That's it. Full stop. The moment you answer that big question for yourself, that whole safety net of excuses you've been carrying around, it just vanishes. And what does that mean in practice? It means you can't fall back on the usual stuff anymore. You can no longer say, well, the system is wrong, or the market is just too tough right now. And you definitely can't use the classic, I just don't have time. All those external reasons, poof, they're gone. The clarity that comes from this is, well, it's incredibly powerful. When all the excuses are stripped away, there's only one thing left in the room: me and my decision. It's this radical shift to total personal accountability. There's no one else to blame, nowhere else to look but in the mirror. Now this newfound responsibility, that's your entry ticket to the next phase, discipline ka safar, or the journey of discipline. And this right here is where almost everybody gets stuck, because the fuel that got you to this point isn't the same fuel that's going to carry you forward. And this distinction is absolutely critical. Motivation, that exciting spark that makes you want to start something new, it just doesn't work here. It burns out. What's required is something much quieter, much tougher, and way more resilient. Discipline. And let's just be totally honest about it. There is zero glamour in this part of the journey. The source material is crystal clear on this point. Discipline is boring. It's not exciting. It's not going to go viral. It is the unsexy, quiet, relentless truth of making progress. So what does that boring reality feel like? It's doing the same work over and over and over again, every single day. And you're doing that work without any applause. Nobody's watching, nobody's cheering you on. There are no pats on the back. It all just boils down to this, just you and your work. It's a quiet, kind of lonely space, but inside that space, something incredibly powerful is being forged. Because that boring, repetitive, completely uncelebrated grind, that is where winners are made. The people who can stay in that zone, who can push through the sheer monotony of it all, they are the ones who eventually separate themselves from everyone else. So what happens when you actually endure, when you push through that? You begin emerging from the noise. You start to see the real results of that quiet, consistent effort. And suddenly the world starts to look and feel completely different. I mean, look at this transformation. Before, your phone was an escape from your life. Now it's a tool to build your life. Before, ideas were just little notes you saved for someday. Now, ideas are things you actually execute. You're shifting from being a passive consumer to an active creator. And that huge external change is mirrored by a powerful one happening on the inside. Slowly but surely, the mental fog clears up, a real direction starts to form, and with that clarity and direction, your confidence, it comes roaring back. So when people start to see this change, this new clarity, this focus, this execution, they're going to wonder how it all happened. And the secret? It really isn't complicated at all. It all comes back to sirf ek decision, or just one decision. Get ready, because this is the question you're going to start to hear all the time. Your friends, your family, your coworkers, they're going to see the difference and they're going to ask you, hey, how did all of this happen? What's the secret? And the truth is just so beautifully simple. It wasn't some magic pill. It wasn't a secret life hack. It wasn't some seminar you attended, like it says here. It wasn't magic. It was just one decision, the decision to ask what you really want, to accept the responsibility that comes with that answer, and to finally stop delaying it. And that's it. That is how you separate yourself from the average person. It's not about being smarter or more talented or luckier. It's about being more decisive and more disciplined, which really leaves us with the only question that truly matters right now. When will you make your decision?